The Big Issue. Breaking down the issues that matter.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Leadership Podcast. It's another edition of The Big Issue. And of course, we are right behind schedule. Without taking much of your time, we'll go into the big issue of the day, which is national honors and the criteria for selecting awardees. My name is George Agba, your regular host. And of course, our in-house analysts are here with me. And by my right-hand side, we have your very regular Silas Ezewu and the very vibrant political analyst himself, Chibuzo Okaibe. Yeah. Well, President Muhammadu Buhari on Tuesday conferred the National Honors Award to some Nigerians whom he described as men and women who have made their country proud. And in doing so, the president said the criteria for selecting the awardees from among 5,000 nominees followed established growth criteria in accordance with the National Honors Act, Cap 443 of the laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004. The president said citizens who contribute to national development deserve to be encouraged and appreciated. In commending the awardees, the president said that the screening and selection of nominees followed the established growth criteria. And of course, he listed the criteria as follows: consistent and meaningful participation in community and or national development, rendering unsolicited, selfless, and philanthropic services to humanity, outstanding sacrifice in the defense of a cause popularly adjudged to be positive, relevant, and beneficial to the nation and community. He further listed the criteria to include distinct acts of bravery in the protection and defense of national interests, public peace, safety of life and property, remarkable achievement in any field of expertise where the person's activity in that field have made significant contributions to the attainment of national goals and objectives, immense contribution towards the uplift of community, state, nation, humanity, and of course, significant contributions to the attainment of national goals and objectives. Silas, good and fine. Yesterday we saw the crop of Nigerians who received the award. I think the Director General of the World Trade Organization, Dr. Konjo Iweala, and the likes of the former Chief Justice of Nigeria and the incumbent acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, as well as the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, Amina Mohammed, were all singled out for the second highest honor, which is the Grand Commander of the GGCON. Of course, we can always applaud the committee for the National Honors Award for including some athletes like this lady Amusa, and there are other people that at the end of the day we can actually agree that the awards conferred on them was well deserved. We have the published from the media community. We have the This Day publisher, chairman stroke chairman of Arise, who claims the CON. But most Nigerians have won. In as much as we have certain persons that will mix up with prominent politicians, prominent Nigerians to give these awards. Going by the criteria listed here by the president, the award does not really capture all Nigerians, or let's even say the real Nigerians who have actually made outstanding impact in certain areas in their field of endeavors just like the president outlined here. Now one will ask, is it enough to get an award because you were appointed to be the presidential spokesman? No, because if you want to go by what this criteria said, anybody can do that job.
No,
Presidential spokesman.
no, it's not the it's not you know, you see,
Yes.
I don't know why you single that.
No,
It just
it was an instance.
It's somebody
I can even see you tell you now that what did the
the man has been doing a very tough job.
Let me come in this way.
A very tough government.
Senate President Ahmed Lawan is the Senate President, isn't he? He was elected by his own colleagues in the Senate to preside over the affairs of the Senate. So what criteria made him end that GCON? What impactful legislation?
It appears that there has been a practice.
If you say, why am I now?
Wait, it appears that there has been a practice to award the former Senate presidents. I don't know why. I can understand why Saki was left out because when he was there, it was a cat and dog stuff between Saraki.
No, I think why Saraki was left out was because since 2015 they have not done this National Honors Award.
They did it now.
They are doing it now.
Okay, at least they would have recognized him as a former Senate president.
Yes. So, and then
The same administration.
The same administration.
I will know the history of how he became Senate president. He went against the party's choice, which was Alman Dawa in the first place, and he found himself there. And sent him for, I think, Dogara too, but
Dogara got, did he?
I don't
So
think
his
they
name
do.
on the list also.
He was there on the list.
I don't know.
Because at
That's
the end of the day, if
but those
Dogara's
are two
name
guys.
is not there, we can really understand. These days, he has been firing them over this Muslim ticket issue.
So
They might just decide to.
so you can see that Alawan has been very supportive of this, very compliant with whatever Buhari puts in front of his National Assembly. He will say openly that he wanted to work with the president to achieve, going by the strength of Saraki that scrutinized everything and did, and dropped the ones he felt shouldn't go. This man has been there, accepting every to the chagrin of most Nigerians, especially when it comes to the shop, this endless borrowing and so on. So he has been compliant, and every time when it comes to politics, they talk about loyalty. Loyalty. Now people are saying loyalty should be to the state and not to the individual. But people like generals and military men will tell you they want you to have loyalty to them and to politicians too. So so we understand that. So when you talk about
So it's a good thing that he was awarded. That's what they're saying.
I'm saying that this is why he might have been awarded. Nigeria may not be happy with him, but the president that he serves is one giving the award. And this awards are the president's
being compliant.
See, the president's prerogative. The president that gives out this award,
Exactly.
and then you can shout and shout, but the president knows those who he feel that has helped him in his quest. And people will not give it to somebody who doesn't know what he has been doing. So you can understand it from that perspective. But what you now ask is that looking through this whole list of people, even some names that Nigerians have questioned their character, their integrity, and all that. Even some people who have been looted at some funds were found just to them in the prescription of fuel against Boko Haram and Co. They have all been recognized. The national honor, I know in other countries are people who have shown great patriotism to the country, demonstrable, evident patriotism, patriotism and all this. But we have seen a lot of people. I know some governors that, if you look through their history, have followed in the routine of the country's right through the vision I've heard. How on that list? Some of them, after this regime, are going to be guests of the SEC. We remember even somebody who was a mace snatcher, who was accused of snatching mace in the House of the Senate. Is that Maggie Giver? Do you remember that scandal? that people felt should have been kicked out of the Senate has been awarded national honor. I've forgotten that just a few years ago, she was accused of grabbing the mace.
No, it was not. It was not the one that grabbed the mace.
Yes,
He was
but those
accused of being associated with
of
people
yes, of
who
bringing
grabbed the mace,
those
yes.
goons into the Senate, you know, and people saw it on TV and they followed him, you know, and even the way all the drama that went up. So that begins to put question mark on in every two of the Judas that people who honestly, I remember that Amina Mohammed, I remember the UN woman.
Yes.
She's a good ambassador of Nigeria anywhere. But when she was managing
MDGs.
one of the directorates and all the top officers there were angry with her because whenever any project was finished, she returned the unspent fund
The unspent fund.
as was supposed to be,
Yes.
you know, accounted for it. And they wanted to share the money. And it was miraculous, how do I say? One of the accusations.
Intervention,
No, one of the accusations against Jonathan's regime that Jonathan mistakenly fired her and replaced her from the job. But it was said, you know, behind the scenes that Jonathan didn't even remember that he had sacked her and wanted her to go and handle something on MDGs on testimony reminded Jonathan that
you have sacked that
you have
woman.
removed her and then now put in what was that one you man there, you know, to so and then when the Buhari came, she was brought back as Minister of Environment before the UN came on their own. So she's that one like Konjiwala has managed to we know those ones. But they also managed to drill in some questionable individuals in all of this. It's a government and that's why a lot of people are feeling that this thing should be more diligently scrutinized going forward so that the thing will not begin to lose its status as a national honor. Honor should be honor. You should not give honor to those who in the public eye are not so honorable. But to those who are dishonorable, who if you really bring out all the things they did to the public, they will have something to work against national interest.
Thank you
So
very much.
that I want to stop there.
Thank you very much, Silas. At least to be very candid, we are not here to really condemn the national
No, it's
honors
a very good
award.
thing.
At least we know that there are people who are given this award and we know they deserve them. For instance, we have Miss Josephine Abu, an airport cleaner who returned $12,200 found in a toilet at Muritala Mohammed Airport,
Yes.
Lagos, as well as Ogbanago Mohammed Ibrahim, a bank security man who found and returned $10,000. They were there. God,
I
of
don't know
course.
why I didn't see the policeman who refused the bribe of $200,000.
Yeah, but perhaps he would
He
have
was
been there,
mentioned. Maybe they have chosen who they want to have
before this
his
happened,
own came out.
because his own was recent anyway. But Chibuzo, I don't understand. If you see people, artists, okay, like that should be, what is this? Artist Tenny. Oh yeah, Tenny who sang this, My Mama No Be Dangote. You know, and then like Burna Boy, maybe because of the Grammy. But musicians like this, and the rest, they are giving award. Then I think Chibuzo, as a very vibrant group politics editor, who
A
at the end of
journalist
the
of
day,
repute.
of repute, who has been telling truth to power, you deserve this award too. Why is it that they will always think of, because I'm an artist and I can sing, and then, for instance, now they might one day decide to bring somebody like what is that name? What his name? That transgender
Okay.
guy.
Yes.
Bobrisky, and give her award because he's a popular personality. Because from some of these artists they gave their, I have not seen the kind of music they have played that would have impacted meaningfully the country apart from love songs.
Love is important too.
Thank you
I
for
say it's not important.
thank you for recommending me.
No, of course.
Let me start there. I have them take note
Yes.
why they should open the space more to media practitioners.
And
course.
God,
It's not just about.
We have artisans and other people in the street, like these women who sweep the street every day. Among them, there are dedicated ones. While they are ones, you go single out such and then include them in these awards.
It's not just about it's a good thing that at least we had to think of probably more media people recognized the Duke himself, publisher, apex publisher, and fantastic media personality and media operator. How back then. He has been mentioned this. I'm even shocked that it took them this long to, and I think perhaps they should have given him a more higher, put him in a higher, category if possible, because the impact he has made in the media industry is immense, and some of the most critical people in any society are people who manage flow of information, either from the north to the south, or from the east to the west. By that I mean information flow, because it has to do with managing how information flows. And at the heart of most crisis, excuse me, at the heart of most crisis is how information is managed. So I think it would be important that next time when they do these things, they include more media practitioners in this, so that it encourages people to pay much more heed or much more attention to how information and what they do with regards to management of information. But having said that, I don't think there's anything wrong in, because even in other climes where we got this culture of giving awards from, we've seen a whole lot of entertainers get national award. All of the big names in the US, the music industry in the US, they all have these awards. Obama did a couple of those during his time. I'm not sure Trump did much of that, but already we are seeing not just musicians now. I'm talking of the broad spectrum of entertainers, from Ellen DeGeneres to, you just name them. Elton John. Elton John even got in the UK, and these are all love song crooners, But I think it's about the impact of their song and how their song impact global popular culture. I think it is at that level that they recognize them, because these are people you can't. At least somebody across the globe would have had their song, beyond where they are from. And I think exactly, and I think Nigeria songs now are about the biggest thing in the world as we speak. Hip hop, Afro hip hop, is the biggest thing in the music industry today. And I'm not talking just Nigeria, I'm talking globally. You have guys really dominating the music space globally. So I don't think it is out of place to recognize and appreciate what these guys are doing. These are young guys. Nobody gave them a shot. They took it on and they grew the brand, and they are pushing us and giving us a map. When you listen to the song, the first thing that comes to your mind is Nigeria. So it puts us on the global stage, and I think it's a wonderful thing. We used to have that with sports, football. We used to have that with soccer or football rather.
Yeah.
And then at some point, even with boxing, and at some point we also had that with weightlifting and all of that. So anything that puts a country on the global space, a dominant presence in the global space, is always welcome. And people who pioneer those things ought to be recognized, measurably. So I don't think it's anything out of the ordinary that they have done. In fact, they should do much more for them and encourage them to. And don't forget, too, these guys, they also create jobs. Tenny has staff, the people that work with and for her. So they are job creators also. So it's not just about whether they sing or not. They also create jobs. And these are the kind of things we want to encourage, particularly in a society where a lot of people don't have, the government isn't providing enough. If an individual can use a creative prowess to create
A job.
a job,
Job opportunities for.
it's quite commendable from nothing. I think it's quite commendable.
Well, I think what Chibuzo said here is very apt. Then at the end of the day, what we should be calling for is that apart from those whose names are pronounced, there are some silent Nigerians, especially in the area of job opportunities, that have actually done same by creating job opportunities. For instance, if you give Dangote GC1, there are other lesser awards you could give to certain Nigerians. Silas, you can't tell me that it will be wrong for them to go to big markets like Area Market Aba, and single out some businessmen who actually have really created job opportunities beside. And of course, the idea here is that we are not saying actually they don't look towards that direction, but we say that the number that makes the awardees are more of politicians than even then they will not pick some of us and then join. So wouldn't it be wise that they should look more on Nigeria than then bringing politicians for political reasons? You give a governor award and then you now ask what has the governor even done in his state?
I want to ask
given an award yesterday.
yes,
I wouldn't say whether he has done well or not because that's not the idea.
Which governor can speak the kind of grammar he speaks? But to connect it, I can't even remember all the things. So so who brings such vibe to the political discourse? Color, maybe they have to energize the political system. But joke apart, Joel has raised a lot of grants for this awards, and I think that if you want to make the award more worthwhile, individuals who have shown capacity in their different ways of should be. It's not only those who have head offices, and we know what happens in the head office in Nigeria. Those who have head office have used office to their own advantage, against the advantage of national. Only few of them have shown exemplary application of the office to work for the Nigeria. That's
in an extraordinary way, because your job is clearly spelled out.
Yes, even to provide the social infrastructure and that,
the bulk
I
of
do it.
Exactly.
You're not doing anything
The
special.
bulk
I
of
will
what
pay
you,
for it.
the bulk of what you do is not by your personal fund.
Yes, just like we work in the media house and we're paid. They also do that one and they pay for it. People let them give them the job for 4 years or for 8 years and they do it. So if they're not doing anything exceptional,
in fact, I don't
understand why they should be singled out and given a national award for
just
position.
Just think.
Okay, for instance, now the acting chief judge that was appointed about how many months ago? What has he even done to now say because he appointed him acting chief judge?
Perhaps there are statutory. I think there are also statutory positions that statutorily get those things.
Automatically
immediately become a president. You're already there.
The
GC become the vice president.
I think
the CGN, I think he also falls. That office also falls in that category. But I would have thought that. I don't know. You might help me now. I don't know. I think they also give medals to military officers.
Yes,
who perform exceptionally.
Thank you. If you see
I
those
don't know
from the military, those they gave this award yesterday were the chief of army staff, chief of naval staff, chief of even the former chief of army staff that died in Kaduna air crash. They gave him award.
Of course,
but they didn't single out any of those soldiers in the war front.
Exactly.
Fighting terrorists. Because these ones are exceptional.
I know that in the British setup where we got this from, it got to a point where they had to even separate it. They had to demarcate the civil and the military. Because I was expecting that at the time when Nigeria is fighting an intense battle
against insecurity
on every front, and it's not just the military, they should have made perhaps give a special budget. This should have been the best kind of stage to celebrate exceptional military men. I don't want to just put it on officers.
Men,
rank and file, people who have their boots on the ground people that on the floor,
And save
on the
situations.
front,
Yes, and even
and perform the exception. They do
and
it in other
even the
countries.
posthumous for those who paid
Exactly.
the
The ultimate sacrifice.
The ultimate
I know they do
sacrifice.
it. I know they do it. The Armed Forces Remembrance Day and all of that, where they do it holistically.
But
And
it's
we
not at
dedicate,
this scale.
It's not at the national
by
honor.
the time you are going through what we are going through, this is the ultimate, one of the ultimate ways to really show to the military that Nigerians recognize
Their effort.
their effort, beyond the armed forces thing, by identifying key people, because it will serve as a huge moral booster even to the men that are still on the battlefront. When they see that, okay, the president or the presidency takes special notice of individual sacrifices, people that go out of their way to do things exceptional in the force. There's no, I'm not think there's any moral booster that can be, because they're doing it in other places.
Honoring them, recognizing
as
them.
recently as 2 or 3 years ago, before the Queen died. What's that his name now?
That's
Satomo.
Yes. That 100
The
years.
veteran, yes.
Who raised how many million of dollars in fighting COVID-19 by walking around his house, all those things.
Took it, because he went out of his way to do something. Those are the kind of people. And he was so celebrated.
To rally a country that was down with COVID.
Exactly.
Give them some hope.
Exactly. To rally to those are the kind of exceptional things that I'm not saying these other ones shouldn't. They're not good. Yes. They are not relevant. They are absolutely relevant. They are absolutely relevant. Even the politicians are talking about. Well, fine. Some of them are patronages. We give patronages to us, But the focus is what I'm talking about. The focus should have been more on,
than political office holder. Well, that is the much we can take for the big issue for the day. Well, while we congratulate the awardees for the National Honors Award they received yesterday, and President Muhammadu Buhari for conferring the national honors on them, here from the big issue, we are saying that there should be room for recognition for Nigerians ordinary Nigerians who have actually distinguished themselves in their fields of endeavor and impacted positively to the nation than big names and political office holder. We are not saying that they don't deserve the award too, but we think that more ordinary Nigerians who are silently doing well for God and country should be recognized than always looking more on the side of politicians and political office holders. And of course, it's expected that the next national honors will be done in a way that even those names that are not heard of, they will go pick them, identify them from wherever they are, and recognize them, so that it will serve as an incentive for Nigerians to know that it is better to be upright, to be transparent, to be sincere, than just engaging some shabby activities. Thank you for keeping tab with us, and of course, I'll thank our in-house analysts for addressing the big issue. Join us same time tomorrow for another edition of this program. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.